Supply chains are the backbone for the global and local economy. The requirements for supply chain are simple. It's actually meeting the customer expectations. It's about running supply chains autonomously, meaning as efficient as possible. And it is about building a resilient and sustainable supply chain. So if it is that simple, why is it that many supply chains are not yet meeting these expectations, are not yet meeting these requirements? Just think about during the pandemic the last year. There was the toilet paper issue at the beginning of the pandemic. Then there was the PPE issue, so the personal protective equipment issue, the shortage of it. And then, of course, the vaccine distribution. So many issues. If supply chain would be that simple, why is it not working yet? What is the big issue? The big issues actually we bring down to three limitations: the limited visibility, the limited flexibility, and the limited intelligence. Supply chain professionals have really a hard time to find the information they need in order to make the decisions. So it's all about the visibility in the supply chain, end-to-end visibility. We are dreaming about this since ever, and still it has not been achieved. The aspect of limited flexibility is that more and more standard processes have been introduced. It's really tough to change them. It's really tough to introduce fast and new changing business models. Just think about again during the pandemic last year, the retail business, right? Introducing the e-commerce or really accelerating the e-commerce business dramatically, almost doubling or even tripling the e-commerce business, and how tough it was for the retail industry. The limited intelligence, right? So most supply chain professionals use spreadsheets for their calculations. It's not yet at a stage where we use algorithms, where we use really intelligent algorithms in order to drive business outcomes. So what is the issue and how can we solve that? If you think about it, we need to be able to really create an environment which enables companies to be unique and not average, which means it is all about using data as an engine. Data as an engine means that we need to use and make it easy for companies to connect to business partners, getting the information and exchanging information with the business partners, connecting information to the things, so the trucks, the machines, everything which is moving, everything which has a signal, getting all this information. Then, of course, we need to augment that with information like weather, we need to augment this with information like traffic, and bring all of this information together so that supply chain professionals really have the information they need in order to automate and also innovate in this business environment. Google Cloud is enabling that with the supply chain vision, which really focuses exactly on getting rid of these limitations. We change the world by leveraging intelligence to create a transparent and sustainable supply chain for everyone. That's actually a statement which is very big, right? But we think actually we can really achieve that. We can introduce intelligence. We can bring together information and artificial intelligence. We can make with that actually the supply chain transparent and really drive also the sustainability aspect for all companies in all the different industries. The vision is focused on business outcomes. It's about delivering exceptional customer experience. It's about building a resilient and sustainable supply chain, and it's about running your supply chain autonomously. What do we mean with the three aspects, right? When you think about the exceptional customer experience, sounds perfect. What is really behind there? Well, first of all, it's all about understanding the customer needs, the customer expectations. But it's not only about then driving a forecast, but it's really much more shaping demand and maybe even creating demand. And then the second step to it is we need to fulfill. So therefore we need to run operations profitably using the material flow and also the order fulfillment processes in order to do that the best possible way. The second outcome we want to achieve is build a resilient and sustainable supply chain. Resilient supply chain means I understand the risks in the supply chain. There are the natural risks, there are the operational risks, there are the financial risks, and I need to bring them together. I need to have a complete picture. I need to fully understand this picture about the natural risks and the operational and the financial risks. And with that, if I have an understanding, I start to predict. I start to predict what might happen. And if I do that, now I influence again, where do I put inventory if the risk goes up, if the risk level for a certain supplier goes up, if the risk level for a carrier goes up. So I adjust my inventory levels on the fly. So resilience doesn't mean now I need to put inventory everywhere and double inventory. We couldn't even afford doing that, right? So it's actually better planning. It is taking risks into account and introducing that into the supply chain. Sustainability, another big, big topic. There's not a single discussion where the topic of sustainability isn't coming up in the context of supply chain. And when you think about sustainability, of course it's about the circular economy, it's about the greenhouse gas emissions, and it's also about the aspects how we all bring these elements together in terms of a social responsible environment, right? So think about this, how we can actually introduce this into making a supply chain even more and better and profitable, right? So this is a very, very important topic, sustainability in the supply chain. And the third aspect is run your supply chain autonomously, meaning as efficient as possible. The core of this aspect is that we build a digital representation of the physical supply chain, right? The digital twin of the supply chain. This is the key in order to get more and more automation into the supply chain. We also need to automate processes more and more. What happened in manufacturing already the last 10 years with the discussion around Industry 4.0, so the fourth industrial revolution, we need to adopt it into the supply chain. Supply chain was actually falling behind. We need to take these methods which have been developed in manufacturing, introduce them into supply chain in order to run much more efficiently, run more in an automated way, and with that really fulfilling the customer expectations and at the same time do that in a profitable way. How do we do that? How do we realize that? Our Google vision, right, of building this intelligent supply chain and transparent and sustainable supply chain, we do that with a digital supply chain platform. And this means there are 4 aspects to it. The first one is about building a digital twin. Yeah? This idea of having an environment which allows us to bring information together from the business partners, bring information from the things, the trucks, the machines, everything actually which has a device, bring information into this mix with the weather information, the traffic information, combine it with all the orders and forecasts. Now I have full transparency of what is going on. If I have that, now I can really start to visualize that. And with that, I can finally provide a picture for the supply chain professionals which allows them to find the right answer, to always know what's going on. And with that, make a tremendous change in how they run the business. Second aspect, use intelligence. We introduce artificial intelligence throughout the entire process, but use it in a different way. It's not about the algorithms and optimization algorithms which have been introduced the last 20, 30 years. They are all good, but we need to think a little bit differently. We need to think more holistically, which means I need to understand, actually, when I think about demand forecasting, not about creating yet another forecast. I need to think, how can I shape the demand? How can I create demand? How can I use pricing and promotion management in this context so that I can come up with a better forecast which includes all these aspects right at the beginning. Then I need to think about the inventory and the order management, the distributed order management aspect of it. So it means actually that I need to think about the material flow, not just about inventory optimization here and order management here. Let's combine it. Let's think about the material flow and with that drive and a higher efficiency in the entire supply chain. Then, of course, it's about the transportation aspect as well, the logistics aspect. Again here, really think differently, think more holistically. That's the approach we take here in order to really make a difference. The third aspect is about focusing on the user. Right? So really providing an environment which enables the supply chain professionals to make the best decisions. User productivity is big, right? And Google and Alphabet have all the tools in place which are used by billions of users. Just think about search, think about Google Maps, think about Android and other aspects. We bring all of that to the table in order to make it easy for the supply chain professionals to understand the information, to get access to information and really use it in the best possible way in order to make the best possible decisions. And the fourth aspect of the strategy is about embracing partners. Our strategy of a digital supply chain platform is not replacing applications. It's actually embracing partners. It's accepting the existing system landscapes and building on these existing system landscapes, making it easy to adopt, bringing information together, making it intelligent, and really providing the best possible output and visibility for the supply chain professionals. So, to summarize, when we think about supply chain, it is the backbone for the global and local economy. We know what the requirements are. It's all about the customer expectations, and meeting the customer expectations, do that in a profitable way. We also know that we need to have that supply chain run more and more autonomously. High degree of efficiency is the task. And we also know that we need to build supply chains which are resilient and sustainable. Right? So these are the core requirements. We fulfill that with our vision of creating an intelligent supply chain which really provides the transparency and focus on sustainability. And we realize that with a digital supply chain platform. Thank you very much for your time.